Hi, everybody. Good evening. We are very happy to have with us today a very, very special guest and author, Chitra Soundar. Chitra has written five books for us, actually, six if you count today's.
Yes.
uh, and four of these books are about a farmer called Falgu who is always making trips here and there. Yeah. And her fifth book for us is Vanita's Varanasi, which is a beautiful, beautiful book about a little girl who takes us through the streets of Varanasi or Banaras and shows us this beautiful city. But today, Chitra is here with us because she's not really with us. She's not in our studio. She is not in our office. She's not in my home. She's sitting in London in her own wonderful apartment with all the Farmer Falgu books behind her, as you can see, and behind me, as you can see. And Chitra has a wonderful surprise for us. So, you know about this lockdown and this coronavirus and all of that, right? So, last week, was it last week, Chitra?
Yeah, just a
Maybe
week ago.
last week or a little over a week ago, Chitra sends me a story and she says, Shobha, I wrote this because I was thinking about how I can talk to children about this coronavirus. And the story just came to me, and I would like to give it to all the children for free. So, what I'm going to do is ask Chitra to talk about the title of the story, and then we can see the book and read the book and listen to the book. Yes? Chitra, can you tell us more
Thank
about
you,
it?
Shobha. Yeah, Farmer Falgu is very close to me. He's a person. He's a real person as far as I'm concerned. I think Shobha also thinks of him that way. So I read Farmer Falgu goes to the Kumbh Mela for Karadi Tales YouTube. You should go and check that one out. And when I was reading that, I realized Farmer Falgu always goes somewhere. He goes on a trip. He goes to the market. He went to the Kumbh Mela, and he also goes to fly kites. And I
Yes.
thought, now we are in a lockdown. Farmer Falgu must not go anywhere. So we wrote a new story. Yeah, it was just, I got up thinking about Farmer Falgu goes to the Kumbh Mela and the big festival and the crowds. And I panicked that night. In the morning, I got up and I had the story Farmer Falgu stays at home. So I
I
thought
think
that's the story we want to write.
that's fantastic, Chitra, and it's such a brilliant idea. And I'll talk to you about what your idea provoked in me as soon as you sent in your story. But before we get to that, shall we see the story? Would you guys like to read the story and listen to it? Yes, all you wonderful listeners.
It's
Come on.
amazing how the whole audio and the video all got set up in less than a week.
For our listeners and readers here, it usually takes us a good 6 months to put a picture book together. But this was the fastest ever that we have put a picture book and an audio book together. And I'm going to pat myself on my back
And
to
to
say
all the people, the entire team at Karadi Tales.
and it was just so what we did was we took Chitra's story and we used the illustrations from all the other books and put together this new story because Kanika Nair, who's illustrated the other four books, just was not available or free to do a whole new set of illustrations for this book. Yeah. So, shall we see the book and then we'll talk about it?
Sure.
Yes. Let's go ahead. Let's wait. There you go.
This is the story Farmer Falgu Stays at Home. You can listen and read along. You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear Karadi's cane tap like this. Let us begin now.
Spring had arrived. The farm was busy and noisy. Moo, moo, quack, quack. Farmer Falgu wanted to leave the noise behind and go on a trip. But he knew that he must stay at home. Cluck, cluck. The hens were laying eggs. Farmer Falgu had to go to the market to sell the eggs. Ayla wanted to come too. I won't be long, said Farmer Falgu. You must stay at home. Whoosh! The wind blew hard. When Farmer Falgu returned from the market, Ayla wanted him to take her to fly kites in the Maidan. No, Ayla, Farmer Falgu said. We must stay home. But why? Asked Ayla. Why must we stay at home? Do you know how to play hide and seek? Asked Farmer Falgu. Of course I do, said Ayla. What happens when you run about? Asked Farmer Falgu. Someone will come and find me, said Ayla. Farmer Falgu explained that the illness was just like that. It finds people when they are out and about. If we go out, then we might get sick, said Farmer Falgu. Or we might make someone else sick, said Ayla. Yes, we must not bring harm to others, nodded Farmer Falgu. We can stay indoors when the sun is hot and the farm is noisy, he said. And we can make omelets at home, said Ayla. And egg fried rice and egg parathas too. We can fly a kite in front of our house, said Farmer Falgu. Papa, it'll be nice to do things at home, said Ayla, with you and Ma. So it was settled. Farmer Falgu and his family would stay at home. It was going to be fun, even if it turned a bit noisy or messy. Most importantly, they would all be completely safe.
Wow.
That was fantastic. Say thank you to Vaishnavi for reading the story so beautifully.
She says you're welcome. What is missing from our usual Karadi Tales, the way we present an audiobook, is a song. But there was no time to do a song, so you have to write a song, Chitra, for us to put it into the into the story. You're getting such lovely comments. Everybody says very nice, wonderful, loved it. So Chitra, I just wanted to ask you what it is. Why did you choose? I know you've written several other books for other publishers as well. Why did you choose Farmer Falgu for this story, for him to stay at home?
Well, Farmer Falgu is, as I said, loves traveling, loves going outside. His job also is about going outside. And then thinking about it, even Varsha's Varanasi, she's going everywhere. I don't know how many of you speak Tamil in the group, but when I was little, my mom's older sister's husband, my Periyappa, used to say, Chitra, Chitra, Uralam Sutra. So, so I think my characters unconsciously are always traveling somewhere and doing something. So I thought this is the time I need to stay at home, and I need children to stay at home and not feel like this is a new adventure of staying at home and doing things with parents. And for parents, there's always deadlines, things to do outside the house, and now they kind of have the time to explore with their children at home. And everywhere, not just in India, but even in the UK and in the US, a lot of people are struggling to explain to their children why. And I was talking to my nephews as well before I came to my place and stayed indoors. So I have gone out only a couple of times in the last 2 weeks. So I think that's why. And I wanted Farmer Falgu to give the message, because he's very well loved by everybody. And he's kind of very wise. And he always takes problems and solves them in his own way. So I thought he's the best person to explain this.
Yeah, this is lovely. Thank you. I thought it was just so timely, and when it came into my inbox, I just had one read. I usually, don't respond right away. I take the story with me. I mull over it. I send it to my editors, and they think about it. But this time, even before I sent it to them, I told you, yes, it's a great idea. We must do it. Thank you. And for all of you who are listening and watching, the book is available free for you to read and perhaps download. I'm not sure about that. You'll find that on our website on Katha with Karadi. Chitra, see, it's ironical, but I know it's a lockdown and I know we must all stay at home. But as far as writers are concerned, it's always a solitary occupation, It's not that we can write when there's a party going on or something like that. So for you to tell me that Chitra Uralan Sutra, for me, it's sort of antithetical to you as a writer and your characters, therefore. So was it a change that happened within yourself from when you were young to now?
No, I think I'm always a homebody. But when I was in Chennai, I first had a bicycle to go to school. So I used to go around places in my bike. And then I had a kinetic Honda, and I used to drive everywhere on the bike. And I kind of earned a reputation that is not actually me, because even now, it's quite different. My lives are in two parts. So I do lots of school visits. I go everywhere across the country. I've been to the US to do school visits, and I've done a few with you in India, in Indian schools as well. And I do a lot of festivals and school visits, but that's one aspect of my life. But when I don't have to go out, there are days when I won't even step out of the door, like literally won't go to the balcony, and I'll just stay indoors. So for me, I finish my most busy period in February, March, by mid-March, just before the lockdown, literally about a week before the lockdown. And then since then, I would have anyway been at home and would not have gone anywhere. The only difference now in lockdown is you're also worried about the rest of your family and how they are. And obviously you have to make sure that food deliveries happen, or you go out to get food and things like that. But that is at the back of my head, because if you have a family and my parents are older, and therefore you have to worry about that. But that is the only difference. Other than that, I am quite happy to stay indoors most of the time.
Yeah. So we have lots of children here today with us, and while they kind of are eavesdropping on our adult conversation, I think we should read them another story of Falgu traveling somewhere. Could you?
Yeah.
We'd like you to do.
I have this one. Farmer Falgu goes to the market with me.
But
Big
before you start that, I just want to tell our listeners again and the people who are watching us, Farmer Falgu is this farmer who lives in Rajasthan, yes. And Chitra will later tell you why she named him Falgu. But even though he's a farmer from Rajasthan, his stories or his adventures or Chitra's books have traveled to Japan and Germany and France. They've all loved these books and they've been translated in all these languages. And I think the most recent one was the Thai edition.
Thai one of the Kumbh Mela, yeah.
Of Kumbh Mela, yes. So market has gone to France and Germany and Japan. So let's listen to Chitra reading Farmer Falgu Goes to the Market.
Yeah, I'm going to read in English
Of course.
because I can't speak German or French. So those who have the book, you can read with me. You can take the book out and read with me as well. Farmer Falgu Goes to the Market. This is illustrated by, the whole series is illustrated by Kanika Nair. It was market day. Farmer Falgu loaded his cart with baskets of tomatoes, sacks of onions, bags of green chilies, bunches of cilantro, I'm reading from the American version, coriander, white eggs, brown eggs, and some duck eggs too. And then he set off to the market. The bullocks happily trotted down the road. Trot, trot, trot. The road had potholes. Bump, dunk. The cart wobbled and rattled. Stop, stop, shouted Farmer Falgu. He turned and inspected his vegetables. The tomatoes were fine. The coriander looked comfortable. But what was that? Oh no, he cried. And if you're all at home, you should all say, ay, 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 yo. The white eggs were cracked. He examined the other baskets. Luckily, the brown eggs and the duck eggs were intact. Farmer Falgu set off again. Trot, trot, trot. A family of ducks crossed the road. Quack, quack. Oh, shouted Farmer Falgu, watch where you're going. But Mama Duck and little ducks waddled along slowly. The bullocks stopped. The cart rattled. The baskets toppled. The sacks slid down from their perch. Bags of green chilies and bunches of coriander were squashed under the onions. Farmer Falgu jumped to catch the brown eggs as they slid down from their perch. Oh no, he despaired. Ay, 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 yo. Now the brown eggs were cracked too. The market was still a few miles away. Farmer Falgu looked at his cart. Well, he thought, I still have the baskets of tomatoes, the sacks of onions, the bags of green chilies, and many bunches of coriander. And I have the duck eggs too. Go slow, he told his bullocks as he got back onto the cart. He picked up the baskets of duck eggs and placed it on his lap. The cart went past a family of goats. The cart went past a crowd of children. Farmer Falgu checked the eggs. Everything was fine until a big truck sped past the bullock cart blaring, honk, honk! The oxen reared down the road. Farmer Falgu was thrown against the side. The duck eggs fell on top of the onions. Thud. Oh no! Ay, 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 yo! Wailed Farmer Falgu. The duck eggs were cracked too. Now all the eggs were cracked. The coriander was squashed. The green chilies crushed. Farmer Falgu wondered if he should go back home. No, I'll go and try my best, he decided. The market is not far away. But as soon as he reached the market, the goats tried to eat his coriander. Oink, oink! The pig splashed mud over the cart. Farmer Falgu looked around. There was only one thing to do. he found his friend Kishan. Kishan, he called, do you have a pan I can borrow? Farmer Falgu fetched a pan from Kishan's shop. He lit up the stove, sliced the onions, diced the tomatoes, and chopped the green chilies. The pan sizzled on the stove. Crack! Farmer Falgu broke the cracked eggs and stirred. The eggs bubbled, the smell wafted through the market, and quickly a long line formed to eat Farmer Falgu's delicious omelets. And that is Farmer Falgu Goes to the Market. Thank you.
Chitra, can you hear me, Chitra?
Yeah.
Can you just show a few pictures from the book? Illustration?
Yeah. So this is him with all the eggs and the pothole. There are lots of them in India and here. There are quite a few here. And this is the bullock cart. And I have a bullock cart here too, and 2 bulls in front of me. I don't know whether you can see. I'm going to show this. I have like loads of Farmer Falgu sculptures in my house. I collect them like as if he's my brother or something. The ducks and the babies. And this is him saying, ay, 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 yo. Where is he? All the eggs are cracked now. The white, the brown, and the duck eggs. Did you know duck eggs come in 16 different colors?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Depending on the species. Yeah, depending on the species of the duck. And this is him making omelets.
All your listeners are doing ay 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 yo.
Yeah, when I do the event, storytelling event, we all join together. I have photos of children with their heads on their hands.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So I was going to ask you, how do you write a story about a scary thing for children to make it less scary for them? But I think that the question is moot because you've already done it. You've done it with Farmer Falgu Stays at Home, and it's so well done, and it's so non-threatening. You know, you don't make the virus out to be this huge, monstrous thing that children are petrified of, and it's so well done. Thank you so much, Chitra. I'm just going to ask any of our readers or whether they have any questions for Chitra. You could post it here, and she could read it or ask it.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
Saying thank you. Yeah, thank you, Purnima. Thank you, Ashish, Meetu, Sagar.
Loads of them. Yeah. Everybody is saying, yeah, yo, I can see that.
This is, everybody says I liked it very much. So, well, Devnath says your house is just 1 street away from his house, and daughter of my mom's friend.
I have no idea. I don't know what that means. I don't know whether he means the house in India or here.
No, in India. He lives here in India. Devnath is here, yeah. Thank you all.
I think there is a question there. I think they're asking how did the name Falgu come?
Yes, please.
Yeah, because you mentioned before you were going to ask me. Okay. So I wanted a name which was alliterated with farmer. So I wanted something starting with Fa. But there aren't that many Hindu names that are starting with Fa. And I was more comfortable making him what I know more. And then I was thinking about Falgun as an autumn festival, autumn thing. And
That's true.
yeah,
Falgun,
and I called him
June.
Falgu. And then I found out that Falgu is the
Mhm.
name of the river in which Sita takes a dip while on their journey to the forest. It's a very holy river. There's a festival on Ramanavami near the Falgu River. I think it's somewhere, I don't know whether it's in Bihar or Uttar Pradesh, but there is a river called Falgu River. But he became
Wow.
Rajasthani because Kanika Nair was living in Jaipur at that time.
But at the time, that's true. Yeah, Kanika was living in Jaipur. And
And
we
she
didn't mention,
decided.
actually, in our story where he was from, and she just turned him into a Rajasthani farmer. That's true.
And he became Rajasthani when we wanted to do the third book. The idea for
That's
the
true.
kite festival happened because if he was not Rajasthani, we wouldn't have thought about the Rajasthan kite festival. So it kind of all came together. Uh, that's the joy of picture books. The illustrator brings their own imagination to the story, and then the whole universe of that expands, and that's what happened to this story.
So true, so true. Kanika, if you're watching wherever you are, our deepest gratitude to you for these lovely books. And Chitra, please, we look forward to Farmer Falgu's more
More
adventures of Farmer
adventures.
Falgu.
Let's
So
hope so.
keep
I just want to
telling
mention,
us the stories.
yeah, the new ebook with the audio is available on the Karadi Tales YouTube website, YouTube's channel, right? So those who came late and didn't listen to the story will be able to go to the Karadi Tales YouTube channel to listen to the story with all the beautiful audio that's been added.
Yes. And tomorrow at 5:30, we have Natasha Sharma, who's written Prince is Easy Peasy for us, who's also got a free book for you. And that says Princess Easy Peasy is bored. Like many of you are having to sit at home and not having to go out. So tomorrow at 5:30, stay tuned in for Princess Easy Peasy's Board with Natasha Sharma. Thank you all very much. Everybody says they loved your narration, Chitra. That's so fantastic. Yeah, but some Anupama says, why this profession? Why did you want him to be a farmer and not a doctor? Or a
Oh, that's
pharmacist?
a good question.
Pharmacist Falgu.
No, I have seen a lot of books about the countryside in the UK, and I thought we needed a book like that for India as well, because India is more than 60% agricultural, and we don't have books featuring farmers, and we always write about cities and things like that. So I definitely wanted a story set in the villages. I grew up in the city, so I'm fascinated with the village, and I've gone to my parents' village and things like that. So I really wanted to write a story set in the countryside.
Thank you, Chitra. Thank you for your time with us. What time is it there now in London?
It's 1:30 in the afternoon.
In the afternoon? Yeah, okay. Well, our day is almost done. And okay, kids, have an early dinner. Stay home, stay safe, and good night. And we'll see you again tomorrow.
Wash your hands, everybody. Bye.